Hey flower friends, and welcome back to the channel. If you've ever dreamt of having a garden that bursts with color in late summer and fall, when everything else is starting to fade, then you are in the right place. Today, we're talking about a true superstar of the autumn garden, the incredible Aster. These beauties are like a grand firework finale for your growing season, and the best part, they are surprisingly easy to care for. So grab your gardening gloves and let's dig into everything you need to know to grow gorgeous, thriving asters. First things first, what exactly are asters? The name Aster comes from the ancient Greek word for star, and you can totally see why. Their classic daisy-like flowers with those bright yellow centers look just like little stars dotting your garden. They come in an amazing array of colors: purples, pinks, blues, reds, and whites, and a variety of sizes from compact little mounds perfect for borders to towering varieties that can add some serious height to the back of your flower beds. Not only are they stunning, but they are a critical late-season food source for pollinators like bees and butterflies. So by planting asters, you're not just making your garden beautiful, you're also helping out our little buzzing buddies. Alright, let's talk about getting these beauties into the ground. The key to happy asters is giving them what they love, and what they love most is sunshine. They are true sun worshippers, so you will want to pick a spot in your garden that gets at least 6 hours of direct sunlight each day. The more sun they get, the more flowers they'll produce and the stronger their stems will be. If you plant them in a shady spot, they might get a bit leggy and floppy, and you won't get that magnificent floral display we're aiming for. Now for the soil. Asters aren't super fussy, but they do have a preference. They thrive in well-draining soil. What does that mean? It means they don't like their roots sitting in water. If you have heavy clay soil that stays soggy after a rain, you'll want to amend it. You can do this by mixing in some compost, peat moss, or coarse sand. This will improve the drainage and add some valuable nutrients at the same time. A good rule of thumb is to aim for a loamy soil, that perfect mix of sand, silt, and clay. Before you plant, it is always a good idea to work a couple of inches of compost into the top layer of your soil to give your new plants a fantastic start. When it comes to planting, timing is important. The best time to plant asters is in the spring. This gives them the entire growing season to establish a strong root system before they have to put on their big floral show in the fall. When you're planting them, make sure to give them enough space. Check the plant tag for the specific variety's mature size. Generally, smaller varieties need about a foot of space, while the larger ones might need 2 to 3 feet between them. Good air circulation is your best friend when it comes to preventing common garden issues like powdery mildew, which asters can be susceptible to, so don't crowd them. Dig a hole that is about twice as wide as the pot your aster came in and just as deep. Gently remove the plant from its container. Loosen up the roots a bit if they're tightly wound, place it in the hole, and backfill with your amended soil. Make sure the top of the root ball is level with the surrounding ground. Once your asters are planted, let's talk about watering. This is where a lot of new gardeners get a little nervous, but don't worry, it's simple. Right after planting, give them a good deep watering to help settle the soil around the roots. For the first few weeks, you want to keep the soil consistently moist but not waterlogged. Once they're established, asters are actually quite drought tolerant. A good rule of thumb is to give them about an inch of water per week, either from rainfall or from your hose. The best way to water is deeply at the base of the plant in the morning. This allows the foliage to dry out during the day, which again helps prevent that pesky powdery mildew. Avoid overhead watering if you can. Now for the secret weapon to achieving those dense, bushy, flower-covered plants you see in magazines: pinching. This might sound a little mean, but trust me, your asters will thank you for it. Sometime in late spring or early summer, when your plants are about 6 to 8 inches tall, you're going to pinch or snip off the top couple of inches of each main stem. You can do this with your fingers or clean pair of pruners. What this does is signal the plant to send out more side shoots from below the cut. More shoots mean more branches, and more branches mean way more flowers. You can repeat this process every few weeks until about early to mid-July. You want to stop pinching around then to give the plant enough time to form its flower buds for the fall show. It's a simple step that makes a world of difference. Let's chat about feeding your asters. If you prepared your soil with plenty of compost before planting, you might not need to fertilize them at all. Asters generally prefer leaner soil. Too much nitrogen-rich fertilizer can lead to lots of leafy green growth but very few flowers, and nobody wants that. If you feel your soil is poor, you can give them a light feeding in the early spring with a balanced slow-release fertilizer. Just a little sprinkle around the base of the plant is all they need. Or, you can top-dress the soil with another layer of compost each spring. Easy as it is the motto here. As the season progresses, you want to keep an eye out for any potential problems. We've mentioned powdery mildew a couple of times. It looks like a white, powdery coating on the leaves. Good air circulation, watering at the base, and planting in full sun are your best defenses. If you do see it, you can try a fungicide, but prevention is always the best cure. Another thing to watch for is rust, which appears as orange or reddish-brown spots on the undersides of leaves. Again, proper spacing and watering techniques are key. One of the wonderful things about perennial plants like asters is that they come back year after year. But to keep them healthy and vigorous, you'll need to divide them every few years. After about 3 to 4 years, you might notice the center of the clump starting to die out. Or maybe the plant isn't flowering as prolifically as it used to. That's your cue. In the spring, just as new growth is emerging, dig up the entire clump. Use a sharp spade or a garden knife to divide the clump into smaller sections, making sure each section has a good amount of roots and several new shoots. You can discard the old woody center part. Then, you can replant these new divisions in your garden or share them with friends. It's the gift that keeps on giving. As fall comes to a close and your asters finish their spectacular bloom, you'll have to decide on a cleanup strategy. You have 2 options. You can cut the stems back to the ground after the first hard frost. This gives the garden a tidy look for the winter. Or, you can leave the faded stems and seed heads standing. This has a couple of benefits. The seed heads can provide food for birds like goldfinches throughout the winter, and the standing foliage can help trap snow, which provides a bit of extra insulation for the plant's crown. If you choose this option, you'll just need to clean up the dead stalks in the early spring to make way for new growth. There's no right or wrong answer. It's purely personal preference. So, let's do a quick recap. To have the most amazing asters on the block, you need to give them full sun, at least 6 hours a day. Plant them in well-draining soil, amended with compost. Give them plenty of space for air circulation to prevent disease. Water them deeply at the base, especially when they're young. Don't forget to pinch them back in early summer for a bushier plant with more blooms. Go easy on the fertilizer. And finally, plan to divide them every few years to keep them revitalized. That's really all there is to it. Asters are such a rewarding plant to grow, providing that essential burst of late-season color and supporting our precious pollinators when they need it most. They truly are the stars of the fall garden. Thank you so much for joining me today. I hope this guide has inspired you to plant some asters in your own garden. If you have any questions or your own favorite aster tips, please share them in the comments below. I love hearing from you all. And if you found this video helpful, don't forget to give it a thumbs up. And be sure to subscribe to the channel so you don't miss out on any more gardening adventures. Happy gardening, everyone. And I'll see you in the next video.